Hey everybody, welcome back to the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. My name is Scott. If you're new to this channel and you're looking for reviews of different whiskeys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also make sure you're hitting the bell notification. That's going to alert you to when I'm doing new uploads and live streams. If you're already a supporter and subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for all your support. So today from Steel Bending Spirits out of Jackson, Michigan, we've got the 3 Chord Amplify Rye Whiskey. This is going to be their newest release. These were a couple that they did approximately a year or so ago, which was their blended whiskey and a 12-year barrel strength bourbon. So a couple others in addition to the new release of their Amplify Rye Whiskey. So this is a 95 proof or 47.5% ABV rye. Non-age stated. Again, mash bill on this is going to be 95% corn, or excuse me, 95% rye and 5% malted barley. And then also something to note is that this is a blend of 2 95.5 rye mash bills, one from Indiana and one from Kentucky. They've taken those and basically blend those together to create, again, the Amplify rye whiskey. MSRP on this, I believe, is right around that $50 price point. I will double check that, and just if for some reason it's more or less, I'll leave something listed in the description below as to the pricing on that. So what I try to do really with all my reviews is we'll go through the appearance, we'll nose it, taste it, get into the finish part of it, and then really kind of discuss anything else having to do with the whiskey itself. So. All right, let's go ahead and we'll get into the review. So what I try to do right away is, in addition to the color, which is kind of a nice, light amber type of color, I like to try to move it in the glass and see kind of how it sticks to the glass. And this is doing a pretty decent job of that. Not a lot of thick legs or anything, but it is coating the glass, pretty well. So, all right, let's get into the nose on this. All right, so for me right away, you're hit with kind of a combo of the dill and mint. It's not heavy on either one, but you're picking up definitely a little bit of that rye influence, which a lot of times may either have a heavier dill and or a mint aspect, and I'm getting a nice combination of both, not heavy on either one of them. Even a bit of like a lemongrass type of note. And here comes some of the kind of the green citrus, like apple, something along those lines. And again, with the 95.5, I mean, it just has that classic rye, nose to it. The rye is very, prominent. It lets you know that it's a high rye whiskey. So it's a really, really nice rye note to that. Even a bit of a clove type of note. Not something I get all the time in either rye or bourbon, but getting a little bit of a clove on this. All right, very interesting, but very, very kind of citrusy for the most part for a rye whiskey. All right, let's get into the taste here. Cheers. So like I was getting on the nose, that citrus for me is kind of in your face. So it's very like lemony, a lot of that green citrus that's there. Again, some of that clove is there. Maybe even a bit of like a black pepper type of note. Nice light oak to that. But that rye that's there is just fantastic. For me, it's a great mash bill. I'm a huge fan of that 95.5 rye mash bill. Again, in addition to this being a great sipping rye whiskey, it would be extremely good in cocktails. So, don't hesitate to, treat this as not only a sipping rye, but a great cocktail rye as well. Yeah, very like lemony citrus, kind of that green citrus, that clove, maybe a touch of leather there on it as well. For me, slight amount of dark fruit characteristic. Not heavy, but there is something that's underlying there about it a little bit. Just a really nice, well put together, blended rye whiskey. I would say in terms of the finish on this, very rye dominant, of course. And again, it leaves you with that kind of dill mint combo with some of that like lemongrass. And then on the very back of the palate is kind of where that clove and maybe even some of the black pepper kind of linger there with some of that like leather type of aspect. Slight bit of dryness to it, but not overly dry by any means. It's not one of those things that just dries your palate out immediately. But in terms of the overall finish, I'd say it's at least medium for the most part, maybe a little bit, heavier on the medium side, but really, really nice, well put together rye whiskey. So I think they've done a great job with this blend. They should be very happy. So again, this is the 3 Chord blended rye whiskey, the Amplify rye. Again, that was just newly released by them. So fantastic job. So again, 3 Chord craft spirits. They've done a great job with this 95.5 rye mash bill. Again, non-age stated, but really, really well put together rye whiskey. That's all I can say about this one. So with that being said, so like, subscribe, leave me some comments. Let me know again, have you tried this? Is this something that's kind of hit your market? And your overall thoughts on that. Always interested to hear people's thoughts on some of the other whiskeys that I'm doing reviews of. So also, in addition to that, if you'd like to follow me through other social media, you can on Instagram at mybourbonjourney, same thing on Twitter, and also if you'd like to support or contribute to the channel, you can through my Patreon page, which I'll have linked in the description below. So again, I want to say thanks for tuning in to another review, and hopefully we'll see you again on the next review. And also, like I say, it's about the journey and not the destination.